some of this gold.
Oh, yeah,
okay,
right,
say
sure.
something. Don't peek too early. Yeah. Don't worry, I can re-peek.
We're rolling now.
You want to do the whole intro? Or, like this whole intro where I'll say something like...
Which is my camera? Is that your camera, Matt?
I have not been paying any attention.
I'm that one.
See,
Okay. Sometimes I'll give a glance at the camera in a sort of coquettish kind of way.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Oh, which is my one then?
You can coquettish at that one.
I'll coquettish over
We're going
here.
for an intro now. You're Matt. Come on.
Am I right? Jenny, do you mind if we just have a rolling start straight in?
Yeah, of course we can.
So
we'll do it Australian style.
Great. I'm here with Jenny Eclair, who is a legend of UK comedy. Probably world comedy, if
It's about time. I think, as I was saying before we started the cameras rolling, I think it's just... can't even speak now. I've had very bad jet lag and cystitis and flu. It's a wonder I'm here. But anyway, I think it's just because I've been around forever that I've reached legend status and everyone else is dying. So it's kind of who's left that's been around a long time equals legend. I'll take it.
I think you should take it. Why wouldn't you take it?
Why wouldn't you?
Some people do shirk at it, but it's like...
what's his name, when he wouldn't take the Nobel for a long time?
Was that Bob Dylan?
Dylan. He got all a bit shy about the Nobel, didn't he? Then he turned up the other night. He's taken it now. But he doesn't ever acknowledge it. He's kind of been very cool about it. When he gigged later, he didn't go... if I was being introduced when I just got the Nobel, I'd go... Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage Jenny Nobel Prize winner Eclair. Bob doesn't do that.
Yeah, I'd do that for sure.
He's a bit cool about it. Anyway, I don't think either of us are going to get the Nobel. I hate to spoil things. I hate to make your world crash around your ears already. But anyway, I'm here...
I'm going to do some stuff for world peace. I'm planning on moving towards world peace.
I have a bit in my current show which I think deserves a Nobel Prize for relationships, because it's called The Theory of Sex. Are we allowed to swear on this show?
Yeah, I think so.
Can you say fucks?
I have been, yes.
OK, well, it's called The Theory of Fucks.
I haven't been saying cunt, though.
No, well, don't say cunt. Now you've used all the cunts you're allowed up, and I'm not even allowed my share now.
Sorry, I was greedy. But I'm genuinely not sure.
Greedy cuntishness.
Looking at Shannon, I think that we're not allowed to say that.
No,
yeah.
OK, there's a bit of an edit there.
Actually, I might have even asked her before, and you told me no, right?
You led me down the C.
But yeah, I mean, it's going on the internet.
Alley.
So.
Oh, who cares?
You know. So you were talking about in your show, and you asked if you could swear, and then you're going to say something.
Well, I was going to go into a bit of my material, but I don't think I can because of the. Because of your taste and decency rules on this channel, on this internet channel. And also, I don't want to spunk my material, do I?
No, don't spunk it.
Don't spunk it.
I think you don't need to spunk it here. Spunk it on stage. I don't fully know what spunk means in this context.
No, don't you worry about it.
But spunk it right up on stage.
Yeah, in front of a paying audience.
Yeah. Is spunk it as giving it out for free?
Yeah, it is.
Don't spunk it.
No, I'm not going to do that.
No, you don't need to spunk it.
I don't give anything out for free,
Did you win the... Comedy Award at Edinburgh?
Do you know, it was so long ago, it was in the last century, and it was called the Perrier Award back then. And it was something I very much wanted to do. So it was a good job I did it, because I was kind of on the verge of having a nervous breakdown trying to get it. You know, it was kind of a bit Holy Grailish for me, and I was becoming ugly in my competitiveness over it. And I remember once, because back in those days there were very few women doing stand-up, and when other women were nominated for that award, I went to bed in a sulk for 2 or 3 days. I couldn't bear it. I absolutely couldn't bear it. To hear other women's names come up on that list and not mine, it would destroy me.
Right.
So it was a good job that eventually I got it, because otherwise I'd just now be this sort of bitter, eaten-up crumb of madness. It was a good... I think they sort of knew they had to give it to me. Otherwise, something bad was going to happen.
It's for their own good.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been on their heads forevermore.
Right. Have you... So, I mean, that's the biggest comedy award in the world. Like, Festival Comedy Award, would you say?
Well, I think that now there are sort of comedian awards now that are sort of rather covetable.
Yeah.
And I think that, everybody wants the Barry here in Australia. That's the one here. But, I sort of let myself off the hook these days, because I say, well, I'm too old, I'm not really in the running for these things. But obviously I want to win all the awards, all the prizes.
Must collect them all.
Yeah, but it really doesn't matter. It's of course it matters. we've all got to take part. It's so tiring, isn't it?
It's a funny thing. Well, it's funny to make comedy competitive, right?
I can make anything competitive. I had to stop doing yoga because I joined this yoga class that then became so competitive. The woman who ran the class had a massive stroke because she spent too much time spinning on her head. Because it was a small group of women who'd kind of goad each other on so much that, you know, new kind of positions were being invented that were never meant to be part of yoga ever. And they were threatening and it became much more of a kind of nasty martial arts than a sort of zen, slow down thing. It was fast, it was furious, there was a lot of kicking each other in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that still yoga? Sounds like it's Fight Club.
It became a type of yoga.
Right.
That nobody else practiced apart from a small group of women in southeast London with anger issues.
And someone ended up dying?
Well, she didn't die. My tutor, the teacher, didn't die, but she did have a brain embolism and she had to stop doing that sort of type of specialist yoga and go back to the calm, breathing through your nose and out your mouth yoga.
Yeah.
Normal yoga.
Normal yoga.
Yeah.
For losers.
Yeah, not interested in that.
No.
So that's why I'm so fat now, because nobody does my style of yoga anymore.
You were saying...
Yeah, I know. I can nearly do that, but I can't get the leg back down again. I mean, I sort of can get it to there these days.
Oh,
it used to hook
that's
sort of
enough
right
for
behind.
me. I believe you now.
We call that farting position number 17. I mean, that is a great... So if anything's stuck wind-wise...
Right,
I can do both, actually. You know, if I want to sort of jet propel myself across the floor, I could do both.
Do you ever want to do that?
Well, sometimes there's not much else to do. So, do you know, in the shows I'm doing at the moment, I've had to edit it down to 60 minutes. And the version in the UK is 90 minutes, and it has an audience participation thing called the cunting bunting. I'm really sorry about that.
I think you hid that nicely.
Yeah, cunting bunting. And women in the audience are asked to write something down on a piece of bunting that gets on their nerves. It's usually about being middle-aged or something like that. And I've got a great one from an air hostess who said that even though all the other air hostesses were a lot younger than her and made her feel sort of inferior now and again, she had the ability to fart the entire length of a jumbo jet. All the way down.
Oh,
slipstreaming all the way down.
Oh, yeah.
One on every aisle. She was in her 50s. You have to take your hat off to those kind of women.
Yeah, I think that's a great ability to really ruin a flight for a whole aeroplane.
Well, apparently the stench from a flight... I mean, I've just come over from the UK. I heard this rumour that when the doors open, they always get a rookie young person to open the flight door because after a 17-hour stretch, a flight from wherever you've done your connection, the stench, even from business class, apparently.
Really? Even up there, the curtain can't contain it.
Can't absorb it.
We should talk about your show, though.
Oh, yeah.
How do people see it? It's at the Arts Centre.
I'm at the Arts Centre. It's like a grown-up Fairfax studio.
Super grown-up room.
I've got my own dressing room with a code on that I'm not giving to anybody else. It's marvellous. And it's a 370-seater. I'm doing quite nice business. It's a joy. It's an hour. What can I say? I think for a lot of women, it is quite a bonding thing, if I'm allowed to use the B word, which obviously sticks in my throat slightly because it's making me feel a bit sick, because it's a little bit saccharine, isn't it?
A little bit, but
I've also used the word journey. I apologise for that.
It balances out with the other stuff we've been saying.
But I want it to be a kind of, for middle-aged women, I want it to be a kind of ha-ha-ha.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, really all you can do is laugh.
You can. That's all you can do.
We can swear as well, which is good fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fun stuff.
Laughing and swearing.
That could be next year's show title.
Laughing and swearing.
Yeah, I like it. Thanks so much for joining us, Jenny Eclair.
Pleasure.
Comedy legend.
I know. I'm going to just waft home on those words now. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, what are we doing? What sort of... Is it... That's a very poor handshake.
Oh, what a sad note to finish on.
I thought you were going to go for a sort of, that, or I don't really do that either, but
Well, I often do, but I don't know.
But it was a bit twisted. And
Did I twist it around?
yeah, you sort of hurt my arm a bit.
It's because I think I was coming from this angle.
It was a wrong angle to come at.